oh my gosh, we were talking about your childhood, and then we just
went on this rabbit trail into Wonderland, and we're looking for Alice right now.
Yeah, we're looking for Alice. Alice, where are you at, man? How did you stay so committed to becoming an actor? Was it because of dreams like this that really just spurred you on?
I mean, okay, I mean, not just because of dreams like this, like these, but I think there were also very specific scenarios that played out during my time there. So I'm a religious person, right? Like, I'm a Christian, and there were moments while I was in LA where I started doubting myself, and I was asking myself, like, can I actually do this? Like, am I, am I chasing a pipe dream? Is this something that sounds good, but really it's not, feasible, and it's not gonna work out and all that? And there were a couple of times where I would pray. Like, there was this one instance I remember where I prayed and I was like, God, like, do you really want me here? And if you don't want me here, like, or if you do want me here, like, you need to show me something. Like, I'm not really a signs and wonders kind of person. But I think at that point in time, I was just like, I need to go off of something, because it just feels like nothing's happening right now. And in my prayer, I was like, it would be so amazing if I got work tomorrow. And tomorrow came around, and I got my first job, which was a national commercial for a travel company. And it was a huge commercial, and it gave me, the opportunity to work with like an Academy Award-winning director and everything. And it was such an incredible experience. But it was just like instances like these that were very, very specific. Like, I'm not just praying like, God, in my 5 years here, will you, give me work or have me in a project or whatever it is. But it was very much like a specific, like, I need work now. And work came right at that very moment. And it, was such a huge opportunity that really established, I think that in and of itself too was instrumental in how my career moving forward, because that allowed my agents at that time to see what I could do, and they got confidence with that. And so they put me on other projects, and other projects gave me more opportunities, and it just kind of like moved and grew from there. So yeah, I mean, just instances like these were, I think, pivotal to me sticking in the game and really believing that, hey, this is something that's possible. This is a place where God wants me, and I just like continue doing that and staying in there.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people my age now who are maybe like coming out of school, or they're starting to think about what they want to do with their lives.
Yeah.
And they are, so one thing I actually do appreciate about homeschooling, because like sometimes I forget this is a podcast that is centered mostly around homeschoolers. Hi, we're all homeschoolers. But one thing that I do appreciate about homeschooling is that it gave me the opportunity to explore things I was interested in, like the podcast and production and media and all of these other things, because my schedule was flexible.
Yeah.
Whereas my friends who go to school, often they come to me and they're like, I don't know what I love doing, because my whole life I've had somebody tell me what to do every step of the way. Now that I actually have to make a decision, I don't know what to do with myself. And actually, like, with some of, I guess, the therapists or like mental health workers that I've spoken to over the years, just hearing their stories, and they say, yeah, not knowing your purpose in life is a huge problem for these people, and it can send you spiraling, and not realizing that to a certain extent you do have control over what you want to do, and your opinion does matter, and you shouldn't give up on it, is just something that I think you've done, like just not give up on that goal that you had. And I think that's really inspiring to a lot of people who often feel just very beat down by the world around them. I know so many talented people who maybe they want to become artists or musicians, or maybe they want to start their own business, who just feel like they can't because they think that the path that has been cut out for them has not been in alignment with what they love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think a lot of that also has to do with being okay with failing. I think we are brought up in a society where we feel like to fail is in a way wasted time, or
Yeah.
and so I think, at least in the environment that I'm familiar us being in, I think a lot of times we end up making very safe choices or very safe decisions, and that's a result of like the environment that we grew up in, like the way our parents raise us. And that's not to say, I want to caveat that with saying that it's not a bad thing for our parents to raise us that way, because at the end of the day, they're doing what they're doing because they think that's what's best for us, right?
Yeah.
And no parent would want to see their child fail. I mean, like, that's not, if I'm a parent, I honestly would probably tell my child, oh, please don't go into acting. Like, you have no idea how difficult it is.
Yeah.
But having said that, I think we need to recognize that it is okay to fail. It is okay to make certain choices and try it out, and then recognize that, okay, maybe it's not for me. Maybe it's not working out the way that I want it to work out, and I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna try something new. And maybe that means having to start all over from the bottom again, and that is perfectly fine. 100%. I think a lot of times we have this mindset of like, oh, if I do something in my mid-20s through my early 30s, and then if I fail, then I have to, either go back to school or like enter a whole different industry while I'm already in my 30s, and like that's so much time that's wasted. I mean, listen, depends on how you look at it. If you're looking at it from like a career trajectory standpoint, maybe you could argue that. But even for me, like the experiences that I've had in the last 11 years, I would not trade them for anything. Like, I think the worldview that I've been exposed to, the way the different cultures that I have been a part of, the people that I've met, the experiences that I've had, the way I think, the way I process things, I think it's invaluable. And even in coming back to Singapore, like, I've had conversations with people, and there are so many experiences that I have had that other people here can only wish they had. And again, I'm not saying this in a like tooting my own horn kind of like thing, but I think it's so important for us to take a step back and really evaluate and look at things from a different perspective. Yeah. I mean, I think all that to say, if you have a passion for something, I say go for it. I say evaluate the pros and cons for sure. Like, don't just jump into it with having absolutely no plan, or like having absolutely not considered any possible factors that may be a result of your choice. But if that's something you want to do and you're ready to take that step, then also take that step being okay with possibly failing. And not let other people's opinions of you make you make certain choices or decisions that you might regret later on.